Good Monday, KU. I'm your host, Patrick Philpott.
And I'm Peyton Sloshberg.
And today we have a great show. It's going to be a great weather today. The weather this week has been fantastic already. We're off to a great start on this wonderful Monday morning, and we can't wait to get started. Peyton, how was your weekend?
It was actually really good. I had one of my buddies come out and visit Lawrence for his first time. We went out and had a good time, and I just showed him some good restaurants and great places to eat, and he loved it. Yeah, what about you? What'd you do?
It was good. I did a lot of filming this week. Had a lot of film classes to do. Hung out with some friends, watched some TV. Had a pretty relaxing weekend. Signed my lease to my apartment, so a little nervous. But yeah, that got taken care of, and we're off to another great week.
Did you watch the game?
Unfortunately, I did not, but I did keep up to date with some of the highlights. I did see that Dotson got hurt.
Oh, you mean Doak?
Doak, yes.
Yeah, I actually did not watch the game as well, but I did see the little sprain or tweak for Doak's ankle, and we're just hoping for the best of him, especially with senior night coming up. Want to make sure he's playing for that, but he might not be, even though he's our only senior.
Yeah, most definitely. Hopefully he recovers pretty quickly. I know that spring break is coming up. Do you have any plans for that?
Yes, I'm actually going to Cabo for the first time, and I've never been, so I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm going with a couple of my buddies that go to Notre Dame, and we just planned this out a while ago, and I'm really excited. What about you for your spring break?
I bet. I mean, I'm going back home. I live in Tampa, Florida. Shout out Tampa. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good time hanging out with good friends. Seeing my dog, obviously. Seeing the dog's a big one. Working on the car. Yeah, I mean, pretty relaxing weekend and planned for spring break. I know that my girlfriend's going to be coming down with me, so that's going to be exciting.
When was the last time you've seen her?
She goes to KU, so
no way.
yeah, she lives in KC, and she doesn't really get to come down to Florida that often, but when she does, it's always a great time. I get to go out to dinner and things like that. I know that we were talking about the KU Swim and Dive. They took the Big 12 championship this weekend and broke their own school record. So that's pretty important. Big 12 championship for any form of sports is a pretty big one, and I know that the KU Swim and Dive must have worked pretty hard this weekend.
Yeah, they did pretty well, and yeah. Beat school records, always a good thing. Keep going with that. And yeah, pretty much, I think that's all we got here for today. And well, I think what do we have coming up?
Yeah, we have the KU, we have the interview and then our new show as well. That's going to be coming up shortly for you guys. And hopefully that ends up going pretty well for us.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. Today our special guest is Madison. Hi Madison,
Hey.
Welcome to Good Morning KU.
Thanks.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from and what are you studying?
I'm from Aspen, Colorado. I'm studying sports journalism here at KU.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how did you get your start in video?
Let's see. Well, my mom's a journalist, so I grew up kind of going to press conferences, and so then I kind of developed my love for, sports and being kind of behind the camera after I finished ski racing. So that's kind of where I got my start, and then came to KU, and now I'm doing that.
That's awesome. So how did you had an experience with the X Games,
Yes,
which is
I
a really
did.
awesome opportunity.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your experience?
Yeah, so I applied since we have the X Games in my backyard. I was like, I have to apply. So I just applied through ESPN, and I got accepted credentials, and it was like I had to skip a week of school, so I just stayed home. So that was okay. But yeah, it was really cool. I got to do a lot of interviews with a lot of the athletes that I grew up with. So it was such a cool experience to interview, you know, kids I went to high school with. Like in that picture, Cassidy Gerald, I went to high school with him, and I just like teared up. I was more like so excited for him that I was actually crying, and he actually looked at me and he was like, "Madison, stop crying." He's like, "I'm competing." I was like, "I know, I'm just so happy for you, and I get to be here in this moment." Yeah, so it's a huge deal to be able to compete, especially in your backyard and in front of everybody at such a big arena.
That's amazing, and I can really hear your passion when you're talking about it, and
Yeah.
that's like a really cool opportunity that you got to do. So I hope you're proud of that, and I
Yeah.
hope you're excited for the future.
Yeah.
You also got to do hockey on
Yes.
Friday.
Yes.
So how was that?
It was really cool. We got to travel to Independence, Missouri, and watch the showdown between KU and Mizzou. So that was such a cool thing. I love hockey. I'm a huge Avalanche hockey fan, so it was really cool to see hockey again, and because we've been immersed with basketball and other sports here, so it's good to be at a hockey game again.
That's so awesome. So what do you see is next for you? What do you see yourself doing after you graduate?
After I graduate, I hopefully end up back in the mountains somewhere in Colorado. It's definitely my love for skiing. But yeah, I hope anywhere, you know, I end up is okay, but definitely in the mountains, covering skiing or X Games again, or you know, maybe the goal was to cover the Winter Olympics with my mom in 2022 would be the dream, but I'm putting that out there, but that's good vibes.
Awesome. That's awesome. Do you have any advice for students who maybe want to get started with kind of what you do?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a love for sports or, you know, just the curiosity about, you know, news or looking out and interviewing people, I would definitely say that hop in and try anything in journalism.
That's really awesome. That is super great. Is there anything else that you want to add? Any other experiences that you've had that you want to talk about with?
I would definitely say that in the real world, it's crazy, it's hectic. I was doing an article about Cassidy, and the rival paper, we were waiting because he was an alternate, and so the whole story was about him being an alternate, and I interviewed multiple other alternates, and the story finally came together, and we got a call from his coach an hour before, and secretly we had to do it because the other rival paper was next to us, so I was like crying again and screaming up and down, and my mom's like, be quiet, you can't tell the other rival you know, paper that he is not an alternate anymore. He's actually a competitor. And I was like, okay, so I had to switch my whole entire story around, and I had 30 minutes before my deadline. So that was just the craziest thing ever. So you never know what's gonna happen in the real world. Like here in the classroom, you learn, you know, the basics of journalism and how to write, but I feel like it all comes together when you're actually in the real world and you experience high emotions, and you have to turn your story around as quick as you can before your deadline. It's crazy.
That's very true. Just getting thrown into it is the best way to learn.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on Good Morning to KU today,
Thank you for
Madison.
having me.
It was really great talking to you, and we will be back in a few minutes.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
Good morning, I'm Grace.
And I'm Kat, and this is your Good Morning KU News Update. The first known death in the U.S. for the coronavirus was reported in Washington near Seattle. A director from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that there was no evidence the person had contact with someone known to the virus and hadn't traveled recently. As the virus continues to spread among the U.S., the best thing you can do is wash your hands frequently.
The Lawrence Police Department is creating a special victims unit that focuses only on handling sex crimes. The new department will launch later in the spring. The goal of this unit is to alleviate the fear future victims of sex crimes may have about reporting an assault.
The KU club hockey beat Missouri 8-2 in the Border Showdown rivalry on Friday night. Senior Dawson Engel scored his 200th career point during the game. The Jayhawks are 17-7-1 for the season. Their next game will be in the ACHA Regionals against George College on Friday, March 6th.
There were numerous upsets this weekend in men's college basketball. Baylor fell to TCU, dropping them one game behind KU in the Big 12 Conference. Duke lost to unranked Virginia, and the 10th-ranked Creighton was crushed by St. John's.
In KU sports, the baseball team lost 3 out of the 4 this weekend in South Carolina, and the softball team split its 4 games in Texas. The baseball team is now 5-6 overall and opens its home season on Wednesday against Creighton. First pitch is at 2 p.m. The softball team is 8-11 and will also play at home this week, beginning with a doubleheader on Friday at 4 p.m.
And finally, the women's basketball team won back-to-back conference games last week for the first time in years. KU knocked off Oklahoma on Wednesday in Norman and then held off Oklahoma State on Saturday in Allen Fieldhouse. Coach Schneider said the team is still learning to improve with each game.
You know, we have a very, very young team, and I think, you know, they've grown and they have a much better understanding of, you know, poise and composure, and there's really, really good teams in this league, and they're going to make runs at you, just like Oklahoma State was fantastic in the fourth quarter. They made every shot, but we stayed the course and continue to fight and trust each other.
The Lady Jayhawks will host Iowa State on Tuesday night and honor its 2 seniors. Tip-off is at 7 p.m.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. We should get up into the mid-50s today and into the 60s for the next 3 days. That's a great way to get ready for spring break.
But be sure to join us in 2 weeks where we'll find out what everyone did for spring break. Have a great day.